you got to realize that whatever you're doing, you're competing with somebody. What is it that gives you an advantage over your competition? Whatever you're good at, try to be great at it. And if you're great at it, good things will happen.
Maverick Podcast.
I'm far from average. That's why I had to come sit down and chop it up with DJ Maverick. They know my name from coast to coast and even in Dallas. I use my talent when I'm faced with a challenge. Gratitude strength is my magnet. Close your eyes and imagine. If you can see it in your mind, then you can have it.
Maverick Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. This is the Maverick Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Maverick. Today we have rock stars in the building. We have Greg Haubrich and also Caden Lovelace on the Maverick Podcast. They are Butter and the Genre. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much. We are so grateful to you for having us, honestly.
Definitely want to dive into everything, but I always like to give the guests an opportunity for the 1% of the people out there that don't know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself. So Caden, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, my name is Caden. I currently go to UCO for my bachelor's degree in jazz performance. I'm hoping to finish that up this coming May.
Okay.
And it's been interesting to do, but it's been very fun nonetheless. So that's really all I've got, to be honest with you.
What do you play, Caden?
Oh, I totally forgot to answer that question. I'm glad you asked, Butter.
I
play piano, and I'm also a vocalist as well.
Okay. Very cool. And then we've got Greg. I don't know if I should say, I can't believe it's not butter. It's butter. You tell me, smooth as butter. I feel like we've got so many options here.
Well, the short end of the story is margarine is a chemical. And I kind of got to give myself the name, but it was like on the spur of the moment, and I had to think fast. And I said, okay, call me Butter. Because when I was a kid growing up in Minnesota, we didn't like margarine.
Okay.
So that, because margarine is like polyunsaturated fats. It's really
sure.
And it didn't have food coloring in it, and we saw what it was. We couldn't stand. So if something was good, we'd say it's butter.
It's butter.
So when Doc Blues put me on the spot, that's where it came from, and it stuck. And then when my clients started calling me Attorney Butter, I took that, and now I got the, what do you call it, the URL Attorney Butter, so that's where my webpage is for me as a lawyer. And then when I was thinking of a name for the band, some people also knew me as a musician, right? So I wanted Butter in it, and then that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So Butter in the Genre. Genre, of course, means a style of music, but it's a French word that's both plural and singular. So it's jazz, but it's like all the forms of jazz.
Love that.
Right?
Word moose, singular and plural at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jazz musicians improvise when they're playing live, right? So how would you guys describe jazz? How can somebody dive in and get their feet wet into jazz just in general?
You're making
Here. No. Right now, I'm writing a song that we're going to be doing, and it's called Jazz is the Music of Freedom.
Okay.
And one of the verses is, jazz is so spontaneous, the music instantaneous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to do it like right here, right now.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that makes it so joyful is being right here, right now, present, where you and I are, where Caden is, where, being in the moment is the secret to happiness, says the Tao, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Buddhist, but that's what we've learned, is being right here. And playing jazz forces you to do that.
Yeah.
So that's, so it's the music that's joyful for us.
On stage, everybody's improvising, and then they call it being in the pocket, right? When everybody's like gelling with one another.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that every show, or?
How it goes down is if you're playing in a jam, we'll say take it in a jam session setting. So everyone will call a tune, and if everybody knows it, they're going to play it.
Okay.
So they're going to follow that tune down to a T. And then once it gets to the solo section, everyone's kind of in their pocket. That's when everyone starts to solo. And the best part about soloing is, I'm going to kind of botch this Miles Davis quote. If you play it once, it's a mistake. Twice, it's music. So if it sounds good, generally it's going to feel good.
Yeah.
So if you're good, kind of follow that consensus, chances are it's going to be a pretty good solo. It might be simple, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And of course, He's a brilliant pianist. I played trumpet. So Miles Davis, like one of his other great quotes about playing jazz, it was on the Dick Cavett show years ago. He said, no, I just play everything in minor third away from where everybody else does, and it makes it sound like I'm great.
I like that. They want to listen to their favorite song. They may end up hearing that song, but a different version. What do you guys think about that?
That's why they come to hear jazz.
Yeah.
Because it is never the same. It's always an adventure. It's always new, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the way that you can arrange a song is super interesting. It's why I honestly love arranging music, because you can take Mary Had a Little Lamb, but you can make it like a D'Angelo kind of beat where you're going,
Right.
or you can turn it into like a bossa nova thing.
Yeah.
Who's the famous jazz musician that recorded that and made it into a bebop? Mary Had a Little Lamb?
I have no clue.
Wasn't it Charlie Parker, I think, maybe?
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me.
Right? Anyway.
So I've heard that UCO has a rich tradition in jazz music just in general, right?
Yeah.
A lot of musicians, a lot of people that have gone to Broadway, New York, you name it, right?
Yeah.
So is that what drew you guys to UCO? Is that where the band kind of developed? Everybody met there or what?
Partly.
Yeah.
There, and also at the 51st Street Speakeasy,
Okay.
which is, our just wonderful live music venue here in Oklahoma City. And every Wednesday night there's jazz night. So I went back to college when I was like 68 or 69, something like that, to sort of relearn the language of music and relearn the language of jazz, which I hadn't really studied since I was like 22 or 23.
Yeah.
And one day, Dr. Geib said in jazz theory, said, while you're here, I'd encourage you to form a band. And I thought, ding, and I have such a repertoire of music already. So I started asking people, and much to my surprise, everybody that I asked wanted to do it.
Really?
Like, I was like, that was a big surprise.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we put that together, and then I heard Calliope sing at the Speakeasy, and I asked her, and she said, I've always wanted to have a band to sing these songs in front of, because we can do all these great old standards.
Yeah.
And then along came Chris and said, I want to record your band. And I said, why? And along came Tiffany and said, I want to sign your band. And I said, why?
That's amazing.
And then we recorded this album, and now we know why, because the album is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's beautiful,
I didn't want to call you out. I was going to be like, maybe there's like a 2-year, 5-year age difference between you guys, right? So
Yeah,
you guys met
If
in
you
college.
can't tell I'm actually 35 years old.
It's at least 5 years. That's
yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
This
right?
is how lawyers ask questions, right? Well, is it more than 10?
Right.
Now I'm 73, and he's going to be 22 very
I'm
soon.
actually going to be 35.
Yeah, 22.
Okay.
Is that
Our drummer,
clearly.
Yeah.
our drummer, Tara Brown. You can find her on Instagram. Terrifying123. TARA Fying 123 is 19.
Wow.
An awesome drummer. Yeah, an awesome jazz drummer.
So what do you say to the people that believe that there's just like no common ground between young people and the older generations when it comes to music? I always hear that as a critique, right? Like now they listen to hip hop, whatever. Like, is that a barrier? Did you guys like just mesh well from the get-go or what?
It's a very interesting one for sure, because a lot of Butter's music is very different from music that I listen to.
Sure.
And also, on top of that, what he currently listens to compared to what I currently listen to, well, he might be listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, or listening to more like Nina Simone or stuff in that vein. I might be listening to JPEG Mafia, or I might be listening to, who would I be listening to right now? Like The Baby, J. Cole, or listening to maybe Erykah Badu. Which,
wow. Okay.
I mean, obviously Butter would be probably accustomed with Erykah Badu for sure. The Soulquarians, growing up kind of around that
but
time
to me,
they were around.
that's a cool opportunity, right? You're bringing that side of things. And then you're bringing the Earth, Wind, and Fire, everything else. That's a cool opportunity.
Well, you can hear that funk in that first song, the one that's been released, which is Music is Life. But we do all different kinds and forms of jazz, and part of that is because all the musicians in the band have at least the level of music education that I do, and generally a lot more. We have 3 people with masters in jazz performance.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
You know, and so and jazz is a language.
Yeah.
But going back to the question you asked a while ago, like, there are some things I think you can teach. I think you can teach somebody how to string notes together. I think you can teach somebody how to play within the key. I think you can teach somebody how to play as a solo, for instance, within the form of the song.
Sure.
I don't think you can teach somebody how to have soul.
Okay.
I think that's a gift. I think that, each of us have some sort of thing that we can't explain where we got it, how we got it, where it came from, how we do it together,
Yeah.
but why at some moment in time, we're going to play the exact same rhythm spontaneously, the exact same musical line.
That's the whole pocket thing, right? Being in the
It's
pocket.
it's like that, but it's also some sort of, neurodivergence
you want to test
relationship. That's like the vibes are really, and in our band, that's a very intense thing because the sound is just went live or recorded.
That's interesting. How do you audition for that? How do you identify that? You say soul. That's intangible, right? How do you know, hey, Caden has soul? Do you just put him on the spot? Show me what you got.
Caden, yeah.
How do you identify that?
Man, there's that old song, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Well, here's the funny thing. They've tried to measure what swing is because it's not straight eights, and it's not syncopated. It's not da 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 da, and it's not da 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 da. Do ba do bop bop ba do ba do wah, right?
Okay.
Okay, so mathematicians have tried to, right?
I think I understand
You know
where
what
you're
I'm
going.
saying?
I know exactly where you're going to go.
And one great artist's swing is different than another great artist's swing.
Yeah.
And none of it is like 2/3. It's not 6/67. It's like, right? So
The way
it's just something that just falls into that pocket that you're talking about, man.
to like lose
Jazz is like, to me, it's the ultimate.
Yeah.
to kind of loosely define what swing is. Miles Davis describes it as an eighth note with a feel to it.
Okay.
So rather than feeling like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and where you're like da 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 da, you can kind of
Yeah.
like feel it out rather than making it directly exactly what it needs to be. You can make it more interpretive, which is the beautiful thing about jazz swing in general.
Definitely. So you mentioned that a lot of the musicians are well educated.
Right.
Nobody plays by ear in the band.
No, we all do.
Everybody does.
Oh, we all do.
But at the same time,
I
they
think
make
that's
music.
I think that's like essential.
Okay.
Our bass player, Alex Chapman, is one of the most creative bass players. He is, every time I hear him play, he is making some new sound with that thing that I've never heard before.
That's awesome.
And I've been around and played with a lot of musicians, Alex is, and yet when we are in one of our songs and he's not soloing per se,
Yeah.
he's the beating heart of the band, and you know exactly where we're at all the time. All you have to do is listen to the bass player, correct?
Yeah.
Got it. Is it the drums? Is it, I'm going to take you here? Who's the conductor? Or can it be any member? They're just like, hey, the piano's going to go off. Caden's going to take us. We follow Caden. How does that work?
So I'm the band leader, but it does go by feel, and I got to admit, I am not always the most present. I can get lost in the music, man.
Yeah.
So, we all help each other.
Okay.
But every performance is a little bit different, but we know how to program our music in a way that we can take our originals, we can take standards, and mix them in. He's a wonderful singer, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But Calliope is a really special talent. Like that girl is a rocket ship, and she has a bachelor's degree in opera performance and the soul of Etta James. And I got to sing with her last night, and every time is just a treat. So,
Yeah.
so the band is, well, you heard it yourself.
Yeah, I did hear. Let's talk about that project. So Music is Life.
Yeah.
I was telling you before we started, I really like the video. It's really creative. You walk in there.
Right.
It's like music's not allowed here type of thing.
Yeah.
Who came up with the concept for that music video?
We all had a Zoom meeting together,
Okay.
and we have a recording of that. You can actually watch the process on our YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's about a 5-minute video or so of the different ideas bouncing around. And
Yeah.
I think it was Alex said, well, what if music had been banned all over the world, right? And then we started talking about, well, there was a drug deal where we were trading drumsticks for,
Sheet music for drumsticks and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, and
Which would have been really funny if we actually had sheet music.
and what we ultimately did was we came up with that story about how I come to the 51st Street Speakeasy here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for my musicians because I got a message from the quantum universe, whatever. That should be universes, I suppose, but whatever.
Mhm.
And the bartender is telling me music is banned and I'm not going to find any musicians here.
Right.
And then the tap dancer leads me through and I find everybody.
Yeah. That was a really cool video. So is this the first time you guys have recorded a project, or
Yes.
you have other this is the first
Well, I mean, we've recorded the album last July.
Yeah, but this is the first album for the band.
Yes.
For the band, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How did that process go? Because to me, when I listen to a jazz album, it has to be almost mixed differently than a pop album,
boy.
right? Because I think when I think of jazz, I want to hear live. I want to hear the ins and outs, right? Like that moment of it's going to get loud, it's going to get soft.
Right.
It reminds me a lot of big band, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good comparison or not.
No, that's actually a very good comparison.
That's kind of what it reminds me of. So tell me about that process of recording.
The magic ugly word is compression.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. All the pop music is we're just going to saturate it. Everything's to 11. They don't leave any breathing room, right?
First of all, we had a great studio.
Mm.
And honestly, when I first thought about recording the band, I thought about doing it in my house where I've already recorded in the past, and
Okay.
fairly soon realized that wasn't, so we found a great studio here in town, the music group up in Edmond, and then we did something amazing. We recorded 11 songs in 2 sessions. We recorded one on one 12-hour session, and we recorded another one in one 10-hour session.
Oh.
Yeah.
And in order to record a jazz album, you basically have to play the album together.
That was my next question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what we are looking for, and you're exactly right, is for it to sound exactly like we sound,
Yeah.
where there's not a whisper track to make Clappy's voice sounds all sax. No. We want to sound like she sounds. We want
Yeah.
him to sound. They have a grand piano, a 9-foot grand piano
Okay.
that we record the piano tracks with. So anyway, the professionals are looking like, you guys are so young, and none of us had ever done this before. I hadn't either.
Wow.
And we came in and laid down a beautiful album in just 2 recording sessions. So that got done. Then you got to mix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to master it. And we really had to stop in the middle of that. And with their help telling me, no, that doesn't sound like us, the band all
Really?
told me, no, that doesn't sound like us, when I thought it did. And I had to re-listen, go back, and got it completely remixed and then remastered into something that everybody in the whole world is going to love if they listen to it.
So what was it about it that you were like, hey, this doesn't sound like us?
So when we got the first mixes back, the way that they sounded, to me, it kind of sounded more like the mixing was done through the lens of a rock song, where everything was very much up front and in your face, rather than it kind of sounding more acoustically natural.
Mm-hmm.
And when we listened to it, or when my experience of listening to the masters, which I didn't listen to them as much as I should have, but when I did listen and really sat down and listened to them, I remember going and thinking, this is way too loud
Yeah.
the whole time through. And that was, I think, with all the songs, and especially with Music is Life as well, where that song should be loud because it's kind of, if it's funky and it grooves, but the way that certain things and certain elements sounded, they just didn't mesh well together.
And like I've done enough recording and had enough headphones on, not really in studio work, but in my house, pretty sophisticated stuff, that like when we had recorded this, I knew when we finished that track, Music is Life, that we had recorded a hit song.
Yeah.
All right. I came out of there, I said, if that's not a hit song, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it rocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it ends with so much beauty and tension. And I mean, you just got to hear it.
Yeah.
But like when it came on, it just, you couldn't distinctly hear. That's a very complex recording with a lot of rhythm, a lot of tracks, a lot of drums, a lot of percussion going on there,
Right.
a lot of Latin sounds and all that. So it just wasn't really there. And then we went back and did a remix where I went in the studio where we recorded it and sat there when it came out. What do you think about it now?
Music is Life?
No, the whole.
Oh, the whole thing. Oh, right now, like all the mixes and masters now, they sound great. It sounds like an actual jazz combo album, like how it should ideally sound.
Okay.
And it's honestly a very pleasant listen.
And,
Yeah.
and the key to that is a whole lot less electronic fixing.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
Like-
that's why I was asking.
Like almost no electronic fixing at all. Take that out of it. Get the balances right. Get the right amount of reverb, and put the person in the right place on the stage.
Yeah.
Get all that staged up, and then that's where it is, and that's where it sits. If there's a song we do called Bebop-a-Rilly, you've got the flute, the cornet. I play cornet, flugelhorn, and trumpet.
Mhm.
And the vocal, and the vocal's in the middle, flute's over here, and I've got the cornet over here, and and we play that in unison like that, and it is like one voice, but it's just that little soundstage across there. It's pretty, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So those kinds of things, we have a unique sound in the band that nobody else has.
Yeah. But you have to be mindful of that, right? Because I think, I guess it just falls victim to the way that people consume music now. In the AirPods or something like that, in their car, everything's loud, everything's saturated, right? So when you guys notice that and you're like, hey, we need some breathing room, we need to allow each of these instruments to come through. So I love that you guys noticed that. And you're like, hey, we got to go redo that, right?
Yeah. Well, you'll hear that a lot in the record, like, So Cool, So Blue, like the trumpet sounds real off in the back in the distance, The sound of the voice is more kind of, the whole thing is a little more like icy. And then we got a video planned for it that all I can say is it is so noir.
Yeah. Yeah.
The song sounds dark, it sounds sad, and then we've got some really creative people that are getting. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's coming up next.
For me, I don't know if this is a good example, but like Fly Me to the Moon
Yeah.
is a great example of that, where you're just coasting along. And if you're not careful, when that big band comes in, it might even scare you. It's so loud.
Yeah.
Right. All of a sudden, there's like this epic, we're going to 11 all of a sudden. Right. So that's kind of what it
Yeah, that's one reason I think I think that's one reason I sort of understand jazz sort of inherently or intrinsically, is for one thing, my dad loved big band music.
Okay.
So we had that in our house when I was growing up, which I was born in 52. So we were talking about 60s, as the Beatles were coming in, I still had big band, right?
Sure.
Had both. And then I had a high school band director that was a jazz guy. And, in Northwest County in Minnesota, right next to the North Pole.
Yeah. What about you? How did you gravitate towards jazz?
Let's see here. I started doing jazz my sophomore year of high school. I was in my high school's jazz choir. And then from there, it kind of I just started listening to vocal jazz at that point. And then I went to the UCO jazz band camp going into my junior year of high school, I want to say. And then I fell in love with big band music like Maynard Ferguson, Chick Corea, listened to a bunch of, honestly, lots of like, oh my gosh, Weather Report. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
I was like, holy crap, what's that band called?
Yeah.
And from there, it just kind of just grew into a lot of Count Basie stuff too. So a lot of really just a bunch of influences too. So it kind of just matriculated to what I listen to now.
The gateway drug to jazz music. What would you guys recommend?
Butter in the genre.
Of course,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
no, but I mean, really, like, I think we can both kind of answer that in a different way, but our album is actually one that's designed and intended for a very broad audience, not just for people that always listen to jazz, because the songs are much more universal than that. Even though the genre is jazz, I mean, don't you think?
I would say so.
And absolutely cross-generational. I mean, the fact that I'm 73 and my band is 19 to 29,
It's amazing.
and they make songs I've written over the last 34 years come alive, says
Yeah.
something about that. And jazz is an expanding genre. So jazz that's easy to get into,
I've got some.
I would think of, in the Latin, Carlos Jobim,
Okay.
Girl from Ipanema, Wave, things like that. In big band, one of my favorites is Woody Herman and Herman's Herd.
Okay.
Yeah. There's two Woody Hermans. One's a trumpet player and one was this clarinetist, big band leader, but that's who I would go on that. But the beautiful thing about music today is all you got to do is pay about 10 or 12 bucks a month to like Spotify, right? And say, play me new jazz, play me easy listening jazz, play me piano jazz,
Right.
play me Miles Davis, play me Freddie Hubbard, play me
Woody Shaw,
Yeah.
Woody Shaw. Oh, yeah,
Maria,
right.
Thelonious Monk,
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
And then if you want to, it'll give you a DJ and it'll start picking music for you. And
Yeah.
so, but early Miles Davis is very easy to listen to for almost anybody. Kinda Blue is still in the top 10 selling albums of all time, and that was made in 1959.
Yeah.
Great
Great album for sure. What would you recommend?
honestly, Duke Ellington, John Coltrane. That album is such a good listen. It's beautiful. It's got swing. It's got ballads. It's literally got everything you want in an album. That and Bill Evans, You're Gonna Hear From Me.
Okay.
Oh, I like Bill Evans too.
Beautiful album. My two favorites on that whole album are Nardis and his rendition of Emily, which in itself is a beautiful standard.
So you guys know, audience mostly know Bill Evans was a pianist and smoked like a torch.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and he died kind of young, and boy, did he
50.
write some nice music. In fact, he really arranged a lot of kind of blue, all blues, all that kind of stuff.
It's also a business,
Yeah.
right? And you have to invest if you want to shoot a video, social media, recording time. What has been your approach to the business side of things? Do you enjoy that, or is it like something you have to do?
Well,
What's that like?
as a lawyer, I've had the experience of being an employee of a law firm and then having my own law firm, and then being of counsel to law firms, and presently that's kind of what I'm at. And they provide the infrastructure and I do the thinking part, and sometimes I try the jury cases, right? So I didn't really like the business part of running my own law firm. And I don't like things like accounting and numbers and things like that unless
Sure.
I'm calculating damages for a client in the case, I know how to make money, I just don't know how to keep it, right? So,
Yeah.
but all that being said, like, it was worth, for any reason you can think of, just for the spirit of the world, to record this album and do this. Okay? Like, I started recording music because I wanted my kids and my grandchildren to have these songs. Some of the songs are about my kids and grandchildren.
Yeah.
A couple of the songs on this album are absolutely about relationships that some people that know me would absolutely recognize, right? There's some very personal stuff in there. But there's a lot more. There's, and so it just got so well recorded, so well mixed, so well mastered.
Mm-hmm.
There's a review on YouTube by Travis, who is the sound engineer over at 92.1 FM and 93.5 FM over at the radio stations there. And
Okay.
I would, that review says it all. He says, you don't have to pick number 3 and number 7.
Mm-hmm.
You can play them in any order. They all fit together.
That's awesome.
Each one's different. You don't get bored.
Yeah.
And you can listen to it presently, or you can and it won't typically annoy you or intrude on you unless you say, oh, that sounds nice. I mean, that's how I feel about the whole project. And that's why, I'll be listening to it on my headphones or on my speakers at home, and all of a sudden I hear something that Caden did that I never noticed before. That's really
I love
great,
that happens, yeah.
right? You have that experience, right?
Yeah.
A
for
little
sure.
twist that Calliope put into the end of a thing, or that Jaron did, or just there's a lot. When you ask about jazz and how it works,
Mm-hmm.
there's some magic in there, man. And then listening to it and listening to how well we did it and how well we sound when we play together, it's very, very rewarding.
What do you guys think about physical media? Because I think jazz perfectly lends itself to be on vinyl or something. I'm a big vinyl guy. And
Yeah.
you start talking about how something sounds differently. It sounds warmer,
Mhm.
right? Have you guys thought about it, or did you
Yes.
put out vinyl
Yes.
for this project?
Yes. Before I went to law school and after I got out of the Navy, I sold stereo equipment.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about what makes a stereo sound like music in your home. So, and I have both, digital and vinyl in my house, and I really enjoy the vinyl. And we are definitely going to have, because the album art is gorgeous, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That itself. And
Yeah.
when I was a kid, guys, you would buy an album off of the album art.
It was like a whole experience, right?
Yeah.
Because
Because
maybe it
we
just
did-
looked cool. You picked it
You
up, right?
No, you couldn't. It was in the video, we talk about music being banned.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Yeah.
That was going on when I was in high school.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In the United States of America, it was banned for an FCC licensed station to play Ohio by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Really? Why
Which
that?
one?
Why that in particular?
That was the song about the National Guard losing their cool and killing 4 students at Kent State.
I see.
And during the Nixon administration,
Yeah.
that wasn't the only thing that was banned. I mean,
Interesting.
there was a lot of censorship. We seem to be heading that way again. Hippie
Yeah.
hooray for us, And but so in the thing, music has been banned. It is kind of an allegory for my life, because I wrote this music starting when I was 45.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm 73, and these things and these people come into my life, to make it come so alive. That's
That's too cool.
that is
Yeah.
pretty cosmic,
Yeah.
really. So I go to the speakeasy, and he's sitting there doing something at the table, right?
I was counting money.
Counting money.
Counting money for sheet music I was selling.
And it turns into his keyboard.
Yeah.
And then
That's
we're up
very
on
cool.
stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think you definitely should explore vinyl, because I think it definitely sounds different. Everything's so compressed on Spotify. Like, you listen to something on vinyl,
Mm-hmm.
you start to notice, like you said, you notice little things in the recording, like, oh, I didn't know that was there, right? It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I will say, I think part of that depends on how you're decoding it.
Yeah.
You know what your DAC is, your digital
Right.
audio
Yeah,
converter.
you can definitely geek out.
You know,
and do,
I started to geek on good microphones that don't cost a lot, you
sure.
know, or stuff like that. And I know he's kind of that way too.
Okay.
Musicians, we have to.
Yeah.
You know, as you talk about investment, the investment in equipment. Like one of the things I had done over the years was to sort of invest in the equipment, like the PA, the cables, the microphones, not only to record at home, but if something did come together where I'd be gigging and have a band to be gigging, I'd have the stuff to go do it with.
Yeah.
You know, that's easy to carry around because I don't, you know, like to carry 1,200 pounds of PA.
What's current state of the jazz scene? What's it like here in OKC and just in general? What's the jazz scene like?
Oh man, go.
Let's see here. You got people like Zach Lee who are doing the Abandoned Circus Act, taking a bunch of songs from the 90s and just bringing them to life. He's a big Radiohead fan.
Okay.
So I love Radiohead,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
You've got people like Garrett Jacobson who's doing a lot of organ trio stuff, which is super cool. I take lessons from him at UCL, and he is just a bad man on an organ. Watching him play organ is just makes me want to quit, honestly. It's amazing watching him do what he does.
So that's Garrett Big G Jacobson
Okay.
in the Danish way, which is an EN at the end, not an ON.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he teaches keyboard improvisation. But like I heard the guy play guitar when he was a teenager.
Wow.
And I just thought, oh man, that is an old soul. And
oh my
what?
gosh.
Yeah. There's who else you liking around here?
Lee Rucker's another bad man, crazy trumpet player as well.
Yeah.
Brian Gorel is also super cool. His son Logan Gorel is crazy good.
Jeff had Kendrick on the pod. Do you guys know Kendrick?
Kendrick, he's a bad boy.
Yeah, he's good.
Holy crap, I aspire to play the stuff he plays. He's so good at.
I told Kendrick I was coming. He told me he'd been with you a couple of times.
Okay.
Kendrick, you know, because for one thing, he runs the jam at the Speakeasy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. No, I know that he plays there often, and he does like these themes where he like does different types of shows.
Yeah, at the tower and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen up, y'all. Wherever y'all are at.
Yeah. Shout out Kendrick, by the way.
Joe Kendrick, right?
All right. Kendrick McKinney Music. Follow him on YouTube,
Definitely.
Instagram, whatever. But also, when you're traveling from Japan or Taiwan or Florida or England, and you're coming through Texas, you want to come to the 51st Street Speakeasy at Oklahoma City on Wednesday night, and you will hear some of the baddest jazz you have heard in your life. I mean, the jazz scene in Oklahoma City is burgeoning. It's exploding.
Awesome.
People have realized, I mean, for one thing, the demographics for jazz are a lot younger than you would think.
Okay.
All right. And for another thing, we have, like you suggested, this great school that teaches people, you know, the language of jazz and how to arrange and how to score and how to improvise and all those things that go into doing this. And then they go on and become teachers a lot of times themselves. I mean, they have a true master's level program here. It's awesome. And so, and then now, so the colleges have a lot, you know, I was lucky in this sense. By accident, I got to be a Navy musician.
Yeah.
The accident was on the security classification test, they asked me, had I ever smoked marijuana?
Really?
And I said, yes.
Okay.
And it disqualified me from everything.
Oh, man.
In 1970,
Yeah.
you couldn't. The guy said, you have two choices. I said, what's that? He said, you can be a boiler tender or a bosun's mate.
Really?
We call that a sniper or a deck ape, right?
Yeah.
And I said, that's it. But anyway, I got to audition, and it's my gift, playing my horn. So I got to be a Navy musician. But they didn't have jazz programs in colleges in 1970.
Right.
You know, when I went back to college after I got out of the Navy in 72, the teachers liked jazz, but they didn't have a jazz program at the University of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Miles Davis quit Juilliard or wherever he was at because they were trying to teach him how to play no, instead of boo wah, you know.
If
Like,
you wanted to transcribe
Well,
that,
I'd play- yeah.
it's like an eighth. It's like an eighth note triple with staccatos on it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but anyway, so for me, it was always like, and when I moved here to Oklahoma City, there wasn't much, and for a long time there wasn't any.
Mm.
But now, you know, if you check like OKC Jazz Life or OK Jazz Life, I forget which it is, or if you check up in Tulsa, there's some bulletin boards up there. There's jazz going on here all the time.
Yeah.
And great people that really know what they're doing and love it, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a great community, and every band like is kind of supporting one another, which is
You
kind of
got
a
it.
rare thing too.
Yeah.
And musicians and just the music business, it could be kind of cutthroat.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's a great point, Maverick, because you know, the way I've kind of come to think of it and describe it is we're all these neurodivergent people with a certain gift and talent. And fortunately, in this community of musicians around here,
Mm-hmm.
and especially around our jazz community, it's really, like you said, supportive.
Yeah.
We're working on expanding our market, teaching people, sharing jazz with people, much more than we're trying to take each other's gigs or, you know.
Love that, yeah.
You know, like, I had to go through a long time of like, I'm just going to play for the fun of playing.
Yeah.
Now we want to monetize it.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of that,
Yeah.
what is Butter in the genre doing to stand out? What are you guys doing differently? Give me your elevator pitch. Why should people come and check you guys out?
We can get into shenanigans on stage.
Yeah.
No, truly, the band is unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just unique because I'm 73 and they're all in their 20s, or because we got a jazz drummer who's a 19-year-old woman that weighs about, I'm thinking, 90 pounds, you know, but gosh, can she play? Tara Brown, you know, we're unique because we have a special sound, because the music sounds like stuff that you heard before.
Yeah.
But then it's got a twist, or it's different. Every song has a hook to it. You know, every song has something in it that you're going to remember if you really just sit down and listen to it for a while.
Okay.
You know, and Jaron, our sax player, described "I Believed in You," which will come out on the album, as the most perfect jazz song he's ever heard. When we did "So Cool, So Blue" one night at the Speakeasy, afterwards, Calliope came over and she said, "Butter," she said, "some of my friends came up and asked me, what was that great standard you guys played?"
That's amazing. That's a great compliment, right?
Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, but like, I mean, for me, seriously, all the songs that we got that are on this album, I've always known they're great songs that people would enjoy. A lot of our stuff would be great on TV or in movies, just because of the sound that we put together and the way the songs kind of just sort of fit together. There's love songs and there's like not so love songs.
That's great.
And the next album is gonna be pretty cool too.
I always ask my guests, if I pull up your playlist, who am I going to find on your playlist? So I'm going to put each of you on
You
the
go,
spot.
sir.
Okay. One of my listings right now. Do you know who the Itchy Worms are?
No.
They're
See, this is
Phil-
why I love doing this.
They're a Filipino rock band.
Okay.
They're really good. Kinka K Long. It's a really good song. Do you know who K Tronada is?
No.
You're in,
Need to check it out?
you should check out some K Tronada, Itchy Worms, and then do you know a game called Ultra Kill or Cyberpunk 2077?
No.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Basically,
I'm adding all this to my playlist. Right
Ultra
after
Kill soundtrack. Just think of hardcore EDM. Cyberpunk 2077. Same vein. Disgustingly good electronic hardcore music. It's great.
EDM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
electronic dance music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See,
There you go. See?
I would have known that right away.
How about yourself? What's on your playlist?
I do let the, the chat box, whatever it is, pick music for me quite a bit.
Okay.
I like to listen to global music. I like to listen to North African and modern North African music and things like that. I like to listen to a lot of classical music. I have a wonderful collection of the Romantic Orchestra at home, and then Vivaldi, Mozart. You never know. And but on my present playlist. Today, I listen to Frankie Beverly and Mays
All right.
while I'm alone.
Okay.
I listen to our song, Music is Life, again. I listen to it almost every day.
Out everywhere. Check it out.
On the way over here, we listened to, what was it we listened to?
Sing a song, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Sing a Song by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then we also listened to
Sing a Song of
Sing a
by
Song
Kenny
of
Garrett.
Song
Okay.
by Kenny Garrett.
Cool.
So, it's just,
Great mix.
but, and I've written music in a lot of things besides jazz too. I've written country music and I've written and recorded new age and
Okay.
Pop and because, music is,
It's life.
it's life. And
Sure.
right now I'm in a real creative stage. We've got new stuff coming out.
Mhm.
Yesterday morning I was thinking and this thing came out of the back of my head and it go boo boo bop 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 bop. And I said, uh-oh. So whooped out the thing. We can do this now. So you voice record and it happens to be something that was just kind of slots into something I was trying to think of to do for the band. And it's going to be called A Duck Named Bebop.
Very cool.
So-
Be on the lookout. Plugging everything you got, social media. You
You do
know.
it first, better.
Okay, well, Butter in the Genre on YouTube, on Instagram, subscribe to us and follow us on Spotify and any of the streaming services. Follow us down there. And then, let's see, and Facebook, of course. That's all Butter in the Genre. And www.butterinthegenre.com and sign up for our newsletter. And then you get all those answers. And we got some new t-shirts coming out. And anyway, we will be at September 5th. We're going to be at the Reno Air Show.
Okay.
And we're like 6 o'clock, which is like the featured artist on that Friday night. Yeah.
Okay.
And then October 5th, we're going to do Rev Fest, which is the vegetarian and vegan festival here. Got like 50 or 60 vendors and 3,000, 4,000 people going to be there. That's cool.
Wow.
October 25th, we're doing a charity kind of a benefit thing for a friend of mine that has Kids Zone, like daycares.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go down and do a Halloween party in an art gallery.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That, I think.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we got coming up right now.
Okay.
We're going to do the video for So Cool, So Blue. We're going to release the album this fall. The album is called Music is Life, Butter in the Genre.
Yeah. All right. What about you? What do you got?
You can find me on Instagram at cadence.unoriginal, and you can find other projects that I'm in. If you search up MAI Guy, you can find an R&B band that I do as well. We just actually dropped our first EP, and we're actually planning on releasing a second one at the end of the year.
Too cool. All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the super talented Caden and Greg, Butter and the Genre on the Maverick Podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
In dreams, we trust.